Hi everyone, welcome back to Birds of Fever Bites. My name is Katiska. I work in the sexual health team here at Aqua, and today I am joined by Jai Walker from SHQ, and Jai is going to be presenting on body image today. So take it away, Jai.
Thanks for having me again, guys. My name's Jai Walker. I'm a Goreng man from southeast Queensland. And before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting on Whadjuk Noongar Boodja and pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. I've been on Boorloo for about 4 years now, working for SHQ. Or Sexual Health Quarters. A lot of oldies know it as Family Planning WA, and we run a lot of education sessions with Young Web, as well as professional development. So if you do want to get any training, come along to some of our trainings if you're available. Go on our website to find out more about what we do offer. But yes, today we're here with Aqua, because G's, and we're here to talk about body image. So it's a very broad topic. As we all know, it is a hard topic to discuss and in a clear one-way pinpoint. This is the whole point. This is what these are the objectives we want to get across to the young people. So we have a bit of a discussion today about what is body image. So body image is a combination of our own thoughts and feelings about our own body. So that being said, it is about everything, hair, eyes, height, weight, skin color, body hair, genitals, all of it is encompassed in body image. So it can be quite, are we focusing on this? Are we focusing on that? Are we doing a whole broad love your own body style thing? Like sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not, sometimes we might have to get a little bit deeper. So sorry if it gets a bit, if we do a whole this thing today, but yes, that is the nature of discussing body image. There is a lot to discuss, and which one takes precedent, like which one's more important? What do we do? How do we focus on this? And every journey just is individual. So understanding that body image is our own thoughts and feelings about our own body, where do you think we get the information, I guess, on how to think and feel about our own body?
Oh, I don't know if I know how to answer that one. Like, do you mean like this is like where we learn about body image?
Not necessarily learn about body image, but because body image is it's our own thoughts and feelings about our own body. So where would we learn how to, I guess, think and feel about our body? Where would we learn that sort of stuff?
Like, do you mean like social media or like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, back in the day, like it would probably be movies and shows and magazines, and then now it would probably be social media.
So pretty much all around us, things are going on that are telling us how to think and feel about our bodies. Yeah. So that when we get that picture in mind, that our body image is our thoughts and feelings about our body, but we are taught from all around us how we should actually think and feel about our body from things like social media, movies, magazines, even just, interactions with other people in public. And what those sorts of things are, like, say, those social expectations of people or those cultural expectations of people, or in regards to body image, these are like sort of the beauty standards, if you will. So it is different in, different areas, different cultures, different religions. Everyone has got a different sort of beauty standard. But that sort of stuff, all of that, no matter if it's from like, people interactions, whether it's from social media or just the media in general, they can be positive or negative. Either way, that's where we learn about how we should feel about our body image.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it can be quite negative if you think about social media. What, in order to fit a certain beauty standard, what should, say, someone with a vulva vagina have to be or do to fit a beauty standard?
They have to be slim, long hair, straight hair.
Long straight hair.
I feel like tan, but not too dark.
Tan, not dark. What about things like body hair?
Hairless.
Gotta be hairless.
No body hair.
On the body.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of?
Really?
Things like, height.
Tall, but not too tall.
Yeah. Not tall
like
enough.
You just have to,
So pretty much what these are, these expectations really are making a mold, if you will, or a cookie cutter. They're making a cookie cutter, and not everybody is going to fit in that cookie cutter.
Yeah.
So anybody who does not have a slim body, long straight hair, tan but not dark, all the hair from the chin down is removed, and not at that perfect height. Everybody outside of that cookie cutter then will have a pretty negative body image, wouldn't they, for themselves? So not a bad body, but their internal thoughts and feelings about their body, if they don't necessarily fit that standard, can be quite negative, can't they?
Yeah.
So that's sort of where we have to get to when we're talking with young people, is body image is our own thoughts and feelings about a certain, about how we look and think.
But so how do you say that to young people when they think like, oh my God, I feel like it would be so much harder. Like, I mean, when me and you were growing up, I feel like that was probably like the start of like Instagram, so you don't really, like, influencers were becoming a thing, and not to say that there is like influencers are what put the pressures or these onto young people, because they're not. We already had all of those before.
Yeah. Just differently. So it was less, you had to go to the shop and get a magazine or go and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays it's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
No matter where you go into a coffee shop, you might see some sort of stuff. If you go into pubs, libraries, even, like, everything has some sort of advertising or something, and sex sells, so they use things like people's bodies and things like that to motivate people to buy stuff. So the influences are coming from a lot more places than when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not to say that the influence from those sources when we were growing up didn't still have these same negative effects, because people still have
Yeah.
to fit into this mold
Yeah.
that not everybody's fit. So how do we have this conversation with people, like you were saying? We can't just say, oh, it's fine, just love your body.
Yeah,
Just-
it's not that like easy.
No.
Your body's fine.
Mm.
What you have is fine. Like,
That's, love yourself. All good, go for it. Like,
yeah, it's not.
if life was that easy, none of us would have been feeling any sort of way about all this sort of stuff over the years.
Yeah.
So it's more about having these straightforward, honest conversations with young people about the mold itself,
Yeah.
about the beauty standards,
Yeah.
so that they can understand, process for themselves.
Yeah.
So like we just said, like you can tell, lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, all that sort of old school saying stuff. We can tell them to feel fine in their body,
Yeah.
but how does that change it for them?
Yeah.
Breaking down some of these things, looking at some of the negative effects with them, being honest that yes, this is a beauty standard that exists, but is it the right, like, is it the only way to be? Is it?
Yeah.
No.
That's such a
Yeah,
such a
exactly.
good point. Like, there's not one way to be beautiful.
No.
Yeah.
Having that sort of conversation with young people is very important, because it can start to address a lot of these issues. If we're talking about, let's go with, height, weight, all these sort of bigger ones, like height and weight and skin color and so like a lot of these things can't be changed at all. So why would we be telling them, oh, just do this and then fit this mold, when they can't even change that? We need to be changing the mold and saying, no, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. But yeah, like we're speaking about, it's not easy. You can't just say that to somebody and change that.
You know, it's an interesting thing, and I'm like probably going off topic here, but it's like being mindful of the things that you consume as well. You know what I mean? Like in terms of, because there's so much of that on social media, and then it can make you think like, oh, you know what, like I don't feel like I don't look like this, so I'm not attractive. And it's like, I mean, anyone should be able to look at like what they want, if it's, but then like if it's making you feel like negative about yourself, like, yes, I don't know.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, exactly. To keep, because like sometimes some people, they'll just keep taking it in and consuming it. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah. It's how they do all that sort of stuff. They're using these molds as motivation.
Yeah, like this is where I want to be, and then like I'll be attractive and I'll be happy. And it's like, that does nothing wrong with
who you are.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the ultimate message we want to get across, is you are you. And
you're not like an unfinished, like, and there's never going to be this. This is us getting bigger than what the thing is, but there's no finished you, really.
No.
Like,
there's no one way to be you.
Yeah.
There is. You can do all of that, and you can do heaps of that stuff, and you can change your whole body, and then will you automatically start loving yourself? Will you automatically start feeling better about yourself? Sometimes yes, but I think it's also the times when that does happen, they did have that mental and emotional journey as well as the physical, changing eating habits, all of that sort of stuff. It's definitely up here and here that's got to be aligned to find that self-love, if you will, because we can, we know so many people who still have things like body dysmorphia and stuff, and they are really fit and they are really, they've got a six pack, they've got muscles, but they still have this anxiety and this horrible feeling about themselves that they're ugly or they're not like all of this. And I think it's because it's not also paired with a mental strength and an emotional strength that we all sort of need, that will be directly affected by all of this stuff as well. Because when we think about body image and how it's our own thoughts and feelings about ourselves, if what we are seeing and hearing about ourselves is all negative, what we're thinking and feeling about ourselves is always going to be negative. So we need to change what people are seeing and hearing about themselves in order for what they're thinking and feeling about themselves to become positive. Because we can go through this list. We'll go body hair. What if you're not hairless, what to that beauty standard, then you're not beautiful, or but if you're seeing and hearing all of this stuff about body hair needs to be removed, and you don't want to remove your body hair because that's your choice, and that's at the end of the day everybody's choice. You don't have to remove body hair if you don't want to. You can leave your body hair if you do want to. It's nobody else's choice but yours. But if someone is being told that if they don't do that, then they're not fitting the beauty standard, then obviously their body image isn't going to be the best. They're not going to be thinking and feeling positive things about themselves. Same thing for, it's this one, skin color. It's a constant, it's not even about race when we're talking about body image. It is about the beauty standards that exist. Unfortunately, because of the way history has been, there is a very Eurocentric beauty standard around the world. But when we're talking about this in regards to body image, we're not talking about the racism. We're talking about the fact that, dark black women are not seen as beautiful, tan black women are, or, really pale white women are not seen as beautiful, but that right type of white person is seen as beautiful. So it's not really about the race. It comes down to even just the tone inside, like, the tones of the skin color matters, and this one's beautiful and this one's not. So people can't necessarily change that sort of stuff. So if they're hearing all of this negative stuff about them all the time, how are they supposed to gain a positive body image? For themselves. And same for things like height and eye color. How are people so many people are like, we want blonde hair and blue eyes, and that's, it's like, maybe you can get your hair blonde, but maybe wear some eye contacts, all that sort of stuff. But that's not the point. The point is that if you don't have that, you should also feel beautiful. You should also feel handsome. You should also be able to be comfortable in your own body. It even goes a bit deeper when we're talking about things like genitals. No matter which, if it's a person with a vulva vagina, if it's a person with a penis and testicles, both have their standards. And if people don't fit inside those standards, how is that person then supposed to have a positive body image about themselves when what they think and feel, what they're seeing and hearing is that they're bad and they're outside of the mold, and we don't, and we're not seeing any of that in things like the media. So unfortunately, porn does have a big influence on especially around genitals, but it's not always. It doesn't always. Porn itself doesn't have to be a negative thing, as long as we are discussing this sort of stuff around with the young people. Someone in a porno, if they've got a penis, it's huge, and their testicles are huge, and they're hairless. And same thing for a person with a vulva vagina, they're hairless, and their labia minora are neatly tucked inside their labia majora, and there's a little thigh gap. So if people are not fitting that mold, which is most people in the world, how are they going to feel about themselves? And we need to discuss that with young people so that they understand that all of that, the purpose, the intention, whether it's something like porn, something like media, something like a movie, it's intended to sell.
Yeah.
They're trying to make money.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be basing what beauty is and what a good body image is off of these things, because their only intention is to make money. Whereas in real life, we know what the wide range of beauty could be and should be, but we still have these influences from social media, movies, everything that we spoke about. So we need to start directly counteracting those messages with the young people openly and honestly.
Yeah.
Which can be quite hard because, you know, kids don't often want to talk about this stuff. They're feeling insecure already. Like
that kind of just hand in hand with puberty. So when you do yarn about body image then with young people, like, how do you do it and how is it received?
So pretty much for most of this stuff, like genitals, we have came up with, had a lovely graphic designer design some friendly drawings and stuff for us. These are specifically around genitals, but they have different skin tones. They have different shapes, sizes, and different structures, if you will. So sometimes, and it will all be realistic stuff. So they have drawings of vulva vaginas, some with the labia minora hanging out a little bit, some with the one lip longer than the other. Breasts, they have breasts that are, you know, lopsided, and they have penises that are, you know, circumcised, not circumcised, all different sizes so that young people can understand there is no normal.
Yeah.
And then with the other stuff, it is more conversational about counteracting those messages.
Yeah.
So we go into, you know, maybe some of the positive and negative things that you might hear or see on social media and have that discussion with them. So they can understand that everything that they're seeing and hearing outside and around them is directly influencing how they're thinking and feeling about themselves. So if they know that all of that stuff that they're seeing and hearing is actually mostly crap, because it is social media and stuff like that, that lots of them have fake lives. Like, you know, they're out there doing that and all this and making, you know, content and TikToks and all that. That's not their normal everyday life.
Yeah.
And there is a normal. So it's making them know that that is production value stuff.
Yeah.
So they can start thinking about it objectively, like, oh, yeah, that's for that. So I'm still good in my body.
Yeah.
There are, you know, not a lot of, I guess, options when it comes to that other stuff, because there's no way to, with the friendly drawings, it's quite easy to get a wide range of
like
genitals and examples and stuff like that.
like, oh, you know, you're being represented here.
Everyone can be represented. Whereas with this, height, hair, eyes, height, weight, skin color, body hair, all of that, it'd be quite. We probably could work on it, but it's not something we have.
Take a really long.
Yeah, we haven't got a whole booklet on that.
Yeah.
But surely there are things that you can look up. I think having a look at the positives as well. So when we do this, have this yarn with young people, it's a strengths-based thing.
Yeah.
So we have a look at, if we're hearing the positives, things like seeing, I guess, you know, darker women in modeling, plus size women in modeling, plus size men in, you know, magazines and stuff that are, you know, health magazines and stuff like that, that aren't, you know, just there for the big guy who's about to lose weight or anything, like actually just normal, you know, dad bods or whatever that are selling stuff. Even just, you know, things in movies where, you know, everyone doesn't have to be shredded, all of that sort of stuff. Everyone doesn't have to be a beautiful slim model and all of this. It's focusing on some of the work that is already being done in breaking down the beauty standard, which we are slowly doing, and you can see it in, like, you know, all the new modeling and all that sort of stuff that people are, you know, but still we've got a long way to go to actually break these stereotypes down so that people understand there is no one way to be. Yeah. Everybody's body is their body and they should feel comfortable in it.
So just to, like, I mean, you've already talked about it already, but I think you're like, it's slowly moving to be that way, you know, with more representation of Black bodies, people of colour, you know, people with bigger bodies, people with disabilities, you know, like we're seeing more and more in mainstream media, but like it's still at a, like, starting.
Only a drop in there, yeah. It's nowhere near where it should and could be. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't even get to touch on, you know, people with disabilities in that session, because obviously same sort of stuff is breaking down those molds so that people who don't fit them don't automatically feel like they aren't enough or can't be enough. And we are slowly seeing a little bit more in the disability representation in the mainstream, and definitely with a lot more, you know, roles and stuff that are outside of the mold, outside of the typecast roles. So that sort of is really powerful. But again, first steps, and there's still so much more that the industries and stuff and social media, governments could and should be doing to really push the agenda, because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be an other thing as well, like, oh, it's NAIDOC week, so we'll bring out our Black artists or our Black models. Oh, it's Disability Awareness Week, so now we'll get someone with a disability on the front of the cover. No, this should be a constant thing that everybody's body is okay and they should be celebrated regardless of what this beauty standard says. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And yes, long way to go. Long way to go.
We're just dipping our toes in the water.
Yes, we're just, you know, testing the waters.
It's a start.
Exactly. And I think with all the strong and powerful advocates that are starting to pop their heads up around the world, really, not just in Australia. I know it can be I'm a bit biased though, because, you know, I know a lot of strong Black independent women and Deadly Mans and like so many amazing people that are, you know, fighting that fight, trying to change and break those molds so that everyone can feel okay in their bodies, regardless. But definitely, it is happening around the world, I think. And it's good and it's beautiful and it's the right thing. But thank you for having me in. If anybody did want to have a yarn, my contact details will be in the links in below. Please feel free to come along to any of our trainings as well, to just get some more information and maybe just a bit more confidence about how we can have these conversations, start breaking down these stereotypes. And it's not even just a work thing that we have to be doing, just in our families for our own mob to be able to say, hey, no, you're right, or you don't worry, you know, this is not the one way to be. Again, not trying to just say to them, oh, you'll be right, bub, you're gorgeous. Like, yeah, I know I'm gorgeous for you, auntie, but you're my auntie, you have to say that. Like, and mum, of course she has to tell me I'm handsome. Like, break it down for them, show them, make them understand why they're thinking and feeling that way about themselves. Because as humans, we don't just wake up in the morning when we're like kids and be like, you know what? I hate my body and I think I'm fat and ugly and like, you know, no, we were taught that from somebody or someone. So breaking that down as well, not just for the work thing, but for our own mob and around us and our own family environments.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for coming back. If you want to hear more from Jai, let us know what you wanted to talk about next.
Oh yeah, give us some ideas if you want me to come back, because like
it's maybe a thing.
Yeah, I don't know what you want to talk about.
All right, we will see you in the future.
No one else is again. Thanks again.
Bye.